जी
आइए। नमस्कार, मैं भगवान दास ऋषिकुल योग पीठ से मैं आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं। आज मीना मैनन जी का मैं हार्दिक दिल से स्वागत करता हूं। आज का वेबिनार प्रारंभ करने से पूर्व हम पहले ईश्वर की वंदना करें। आइए, विलंब के कारण थोड़ा ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ओम हथेली का दर्शन करें, कोमलता से चेहरे को स्पर्श करें। अब मैं अनुरोध करूंगा हमारे अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर डी.एन. शुक्ला जी से कि वो डॉक्टर साहब का अभिनंदन करें और उन्हें आमंत्रित करें मंच पर अपना वेबिनार प्रारंभ करें। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर भगवान दास जी। आज 30 सितंबर 2021 जो लगातार महासूत्र आयोजित किए जा रहे हैं इस ऋषिकुल योग पीठ के तत्वाधान में, जिसमें आज 92 सेशन है, 92 सत्र है और आज इस माह का अंतिम दिन है 30 सितंबर। आज के इस महासत्र में हमारी मुख्य वक्ता जो उपस्थित हैं इस मंच पर, डॉक्टर मीना रामानाथन जी, मैं उनका तहे दिल से हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। और मैं शॉर्ट में परिचय भी दे दूं कि डॉक्टर साहब हमारी जो आई हैं आज, वो बीएससी, एमएससी, सीवाईटी, डीएनवाईएस, पीजीडीवाई, एमए, एमफिल, पीएचडी, इस तरीके ढेर सारी एजुकेशन क्वालिफिकेशन है। आप समझ सकते हैं कि क्या अनुभव होगा। आज उस अनुभव के साथ हमें बेसिक्स ऑफ योगा थेरेपी के बारे में जानकारी दी जाएगी सत्र में। और इसके अलावा भी प्रोफाइल तो बहुत लंबा है, बताते बताते शायद ये सेशन ही समाप्त हो जाए, लेकिन फिर भी आज हम सभी लोगों को बहुत अच्छी जानकारी मिलेगी। और इसी के साथ मैं अब ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा, मैं सीधे अब आमंत्रित करूंगा अनुपम जी को कि आए और मैम का स्वागत अभिनंदन करें। और उसके अग्रिम जो है सीधे हमारे डॉक्टर मीना रामनाथन जी आए और अपना सत्र आरंभ करें जी। धन्यवाद।
प्रणाम सभी को। मेरा नाम अनुपम कुमार, ऋषिकुल योग पीठ बिहार में कोऑर्डिनेटर हूँ और आज के नेशनल सेमिनार में डॉक्टर मीना रामनाथन मैडम का स्वागत है। मैडम बालाजी विद्यापीठ की वाइस डिप्टी डायरेक्टर भी है और पुणे से लाइव मैडम आ चुकी है। तो चलते हैं सीधे मैडम के पास और आज के टॉपिक के बारे में मैडम से जानेंगे। धन्यवाद मैडम, आपका वेलकम है।
अच्छा, मैं अभी शेयर कर लेती हूँ स्क्रीन, ठीक है?
जी
तो अभी स्क्रीन दिख रहा है?
यस मैडम।
जी
So can I proceed?
यस।
हाँ, ओके। सो नमस्ते ऑल, गुड इवनिंग। इतने अच्छे प्लेटफॉर्म है, थैंक यू फॉर दिस वंडरफुल अपॉर्चुनिटी। आप लोगों का इसमें इस माध्यम से मिलने का एक अवसर मिला है। तो आई एम नॉट सो गुड एट हिंदी, बट बीच बीच में आई विल ट्राई टू गिव इट आउट इन हिंदी ऑल्सो। अनुपम जी, कुछ आवाज आ रहा है पीछे से। आई थिंक वन ऑफ योर माइक नीड टू बी म्यूटेड।
ओके ओके मैडम।
बहुत डिस्टर्बिंग आवाज आ रहा है। हाँ, अभी ठीक है।
ओके।
या so the basis of yoga therapy, that is what we would be discussing today. And so I am the Deputy Director and Associate Professor of Center for Yoga Therapy, Education and Research of Sri Balaji Vidyapeeth, where we have all under one campus, under one umbrella. We have a medical college, a dental college, a nursing college, allied health sciences, pharmacy, physiotherapy, सब एक ही जगह है, and a hospital भी है उसमें. और हमारा सेंटर योग थेरेपी का सेंटर उस हॉस्पिटल के अंदर है. 2010 में ये शुरू हुआ था और अभी तक हमारे सेंटर में 70,000 पेशेंट्स आए हुए हैं. हम कोर्सेस चलते हैं वहां पे, सर्टिफिकेट, पीजी, डिप्लोमा, एमफिल एंड पीएचडी इन योग थेरेपी. And all yoga is being taught to all these students, medical, nursing, dental, everybody gets yoga. And we have had so many publications, research studies, copyright sab hai. So just as an introduction to where we are, and the yoga therapy being taken to people, hand-on training being given to students, hospital में patients को देते हैं और उसके असर क्या होता है, benefits क्या होता है, ये सब हम देखते हैं. और 10-11 साल से अभी शुरू करके चालू है. And so wonderful to be meeting you all again. So this is something where I love to interact all about. तो योग के बारे में I don't have to tell you because all of you know more than me maybe, but just to put out a perspective of mine. तो योग क्या होता है, युज के वर्ड से हमारा योग डिराइव हुआ है, which means to join, to bring together, जुड़ना. So what are you bringing together? Your body, your mind and your soul, which because of our interactions, because of our stress, everyday life में जो भी होता है, वो जो disturbances होता है, उसमें क्या होता है कि body mind के बीच में कुछ conflict आ जाता है. So what the body says, the mind doesn't want to agree. What the mind says, the body doesn't want to agree. तो एक difference of opinion हो जाता है और उसके बीच में जो conflict है, because of that what happens is that there is a deviation, there is a conflict and the harmony of the whole is lost. So that is where we are bringing all these together, the fragmented parts. वो जो अलग हुआ है उसको जुड़ते हैं योग के माध्यम से. तो what are we bringing together? The body, mind and emotions, जीवात्मा to paramatma, and thought, word and deed. What we think, that is what we are saying and that is what we are doing. There is no conflict. जो क्या सोचते हैं वही बोलते हैं और वही काम करते हैं, उसके बीच में कुछ conflict नहीं होता है. But that is what bringing together means. And yoga is always experiential. Anubhuti Shastra, we have to experience all that we are teaching or that we are doing. It is not a practical physical exercise at all. It is something that is like we experience and we take it inwards. Karmashu Kaushalam बोलते हैं भगवान कृष्णा भगवद गीता में. So yoga helps you to become more skillful. जो भी हम काम करते हैं उसमें बहुत अच्छे से करने के लिए वो स्किल मिलता है. और हमारे वो जो माइंड है, सबकॉन्शियस माइंड, चित्त, उसमें ज्यादा like the vrittis are happening, the subconscious whirlpools, the confusions, the conflicts, वो सब तो होता है. तो to cut away all those and help you to stay calm with mental clarity, chitta prasadanam, and that is what yoga is all about. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. So it is a way of life that we live 24/7. It is not just an hour of practice that we do in a mat, but it is what we live. वो जो concepts है, वो जो aspects है, वो सब हमारे अंदर, we have to become all that and we have to be practicing that every moment in our life. So as Swami Vivekanand ji ne bola hai that every human being is potentially divine. So we have to manifest that divinity that we are blessed with through yoga. That is what we all are. So the elevation, the evolution happening from the animal state to the human state to humane to the divine state. So we have yama, niyama, all these concepts help us to become that human being, to control our animal tendencies, and to become that human being, and to develop further to become that divine being, to become one with that divine. Sama Adi, Adi, that Bhagavan ke saath usme sama. So that is what yoga is all about, to achieve that state of samadhi. So what is yoga therapy? That is the process of empowering individuals to progress towards improved health, those who have lost that state of health and well-being. So through yoga therapy, we try to promote that health and well-being by the application of the teachings and practices of yoga. So what is health now? Health is seen as a dynamic movement. It is not one standstill point. It keeps moving every minute, every moment. It keeps moving. So what is now is not what it yesterday was, or what tomorrow is going to be. So we have to constantly keep working to maintain that state of health and well-being. So as it is defined, it is a dynamic movement in the continuum. It is a continuous process between total like ill health, that is disease, or the state of death, to health. So it is like a spectrum, but where are we? Somewhere between normal and better than normal means you are in that state of health, which is comparatively better. If you go below that, you end up having a disease or infirmity. So what is the definition of yoga? I mean, health as given by WHO, that they say is, health is a dynamic state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, and not just absence of disease. So this is what Maharishi Patanjali has told us centuries ago. Like he's given us this beautiful Ashtanga yoga. Usme yama or niyama that we practice is for our social health and well-being, and asanas and pranayama for the physical, physiological health and well-being, pratyahara and dharana for our mental, emotional health and well-being, and dhyana and samadhi for the spiritual health and well-being. And what is the definition of health as given by Acharya Sushruta? Samadosha, Samagnischa, Samadhatu, Malakriya, Prasanna, Atma Indriya, Swastha Idyabhidiyate. So what is that state of swast, which is the holistic health and well-being? It is not just the parameters like dosha, agni, all these staying in balance, not just that, but prasanna, atma, indriya, and manas. So all these, when they are in that state of tranquility, when they are in that state of balance, that is when we can say that a person is in a purna state of health, and that is what is called as, defined as swastha. So if you can see here, what is happening now, the physical well-being influencing the mental well-being, influencing the social, influencing the spiritual. So one factor, it is not the disturbance happening in one factor, but one small disturbance in one of these factors is going to affect the whole equilibrium. So we have to bring back that state of health, working towards it. So it is not just the physical health, but it is everything put together. So what is yoga chikitsa, yoga therapy? Body, mind, emotions, attitude, diet, behavior, lifestyle, environment, all these are linked together and influence the state of health. So we have to understand that all these are linked, which is influencing each and every moment. What you eat, where you live, what is your behavior like, everything. And body may be healed through medicine. You may take a tablet, your headache is gone, but unless there is a transformation from the deep pattern, the samskaras, the conditioned reflexes that we carry, unless and until we change that, we end up recreating the same similar condition again and again. So the whirlpools are never going to stop existing. So we have to address everything so that we can come out of that whirlpool. So as you all know, this is the modern perspective of a human body, you know, the tissues, the cells, the organs, the systems and all that. But how does yogic perspective look at the human being? As said in the Taittiriya Upanishad, man is not a single layered animal. It is not just one level of existence. There are multiple levels of existence, like we define it in Pancha Koshas. So what are the different koshas that we see? You can see here the Annamaya Kosha, the gross level of existence that we can see with our naked eye. And what is Pranamaya Kosha? It is the level of energy, the sheath of prana, also known as the emotional or the vital body, which is what is keeping us alive, which is what is helping us function. You know, we are talking, we are walking, we are doing anything and everything. Even to think, you need the energy of prana. So everything we are being handled and we are functioning only with the help of this energy called prana, the prana shakti. And manomaya kosha, which is the level of mind, the lower mind, which is made up of chitta and manas, the conscious and the subconscious mind. And the vijnanamaya kosha, which is the superconscious mind, which is made up of our buddhi and ahamkara, the higher mind. And we have the Anandamaya Kosha, which is the level of bliss, the spiritual level of our existence, the cosmic egg, which is not at all affected. So what is the cause of disease as far as yoga terminology goes? It is like we saw before, the three doshas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So there is a balance for each and every individual. What is the level of Vata? What is the level of Pitta? What is the level of Kapha? That is at the birth it is decided. And if there is any disturbance in that status, then you end up having a disease. So it has to be in that state of balance, and each individual has a different setup in that. And we have Dvadasha Prana, the Pancha Prana, Prana, Apana, Samana, Udhana and Vyana. And we have Pancha Upaprana, Naga, Kurma, Krikara, Devadatta, Dhananjaya. And we have two Paraprana, the Akasha Vayu and the Chitra Vayu. So Chitra Pranavayu and Akasha Pranavayu, which are the Paraprana, higher air, higher Vayus. So we have 12 different Vayus which help us in functioning in different ways. Each one has a particular location to function. Say for example, Pranavayu is located in the chest region, which helps with your respiration and all that, the heart functioning, all that is with the help of the Pranavayu. The elimination is supported by the Apanavayu. The digestion, process of digestion is supported by the Samanavayu. The process of communication is supported by the Udana Vayu, which is in the throat, the Kanta Deshasto, Hridi Prano, Gude Apana, Samana Nabi Mandale, Udana, Kanta Deshasto, Vyana, Sarva Sharira Graha. That has been said in Shiva Samhita as far as the Pancha Pranavayu goes. So when these pranavayus are functioning in the state of balance, again that state is lost, there is an imbalance, then we end up having a disease. And Yoga Vasishta, that is the first lesson where Rama got the counseling from his guru Vasishta. And the psychosomatic disorders were discussed in that in detail. Psychosomatic means from the mind to the body. All these vyadi, that is caused by the functions of the mind. So that is what has been explained in Yoga Vasishta as two different concepts. Like one is the psychosomatic and the other one is the somato-psychic. Psychosomatic meaning psycho is your mind, soma is your body. So psycho to soma, from the mind to the body, which is called as the Adhija Vyadi and Anadhija Vyadi. So because of the stress, because of your interactions with the external world, because you get upset, because of all these factors, the emotional turbulences, what happens is that you end up having Vyadi. The other one is because of faulty thinking, wrong way of eating, and so many other factors that causes disease. That is anadija vyadi. And vyadija adi is like the virus, bacteria, and all those which depress our immunity, and because of which we have diseases. That causes disturbance in your mind. So from the soma to your psyche, that is vyadija adi. So these are the classifications of diseases as per like the terms in yoga. So how do we end up having psychosomatic diseases? Like I said, it is adi to vyadi. So what happens? We have lot of, because of our interactions, because of many disturbances, what happens? Manomaya kosha mein, where you are thinking, where you are emotionally disturbed. So the mind gets agitated, it is disturbed. And sanchala, chanchal, there's a lot of disturbance ho jata hai apne man mein. So what happens? We have the pranamaya kosha next to the manomaya. So it percolates. The disturbance now percolates into the pranamaya kosha. So the nadis are disturbed. Nadis are channels where the pranic energy is circulated. So these astral channels, the nadis, those are disturbed now, and the flow of prana is totally disturbed. So we have to, consciously think about it. When we are disturbed, when we are angry, तब ज्यादा गुस्सा में है, तो तब हमारा ब्रीथिंग कैसा होता है? It is very fast because the flow of prana is disturbed because of our mental status. So now what happens? Your physical annamaya kosha mein this gets percolated, and there are disturbance in your cellular activity. So it becomes hypocellular or hypercellular or altered cellular activity, which is ajiranatvam, athijiranatvam, or kujiranatvam, ending up as a disease in your body. So whatever we are doing, the cellular activity is affected, because of which there is a whole body and whole health is disturbed. So Vyuha model, as given by Maharishi Patanjali and as explained by sage Vyasa in Yoga Bhashyam, in his commentary of the Yoga Sutras in Yoga Bhashyam, where he says, Yata Chikitsa Shastram Chatur Vyuham, which is like Heya, Hetu, Hana, Upaya. So what is Heya? Which is like the symptomatically expressed as, what are the symptoms that are expressed as Vyadi in the body? So what are the challenges that you have to face? And Hetu is what has caused that symptom to be present. So what is the root cause? उसके मूल क्या होता है, आदि क्या होता है, कहाँ से ये सब शुरू होता है वो disturbance. So we have to look into the cause. And Hana, what are the goals? So where is it that you want to take it now? Each person, each individual has a particular goal. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to achieve this. Like similarly, when a patient comes, they have a goal. Say for example, people who come with insomnia, they are not able to sleep at all. So one goal that they have is they want to sleep without any disturbance, at least for one night, without any medication. I want to sleep fitfully, I want to sleep well. So that would be the immediate goal. So something like that is Hana, and Upaya comes last. What are the techniques, what are the tools that we use to help them attain that state of health, and because that they have lost? So how do we gain that back? How do we help them gain that state back? Through the techniques, through the upaya. So upaya always comes last. So heya, hetu, hana, upaya. So yoga therapy, first we look at the person. Who is the person? What is he all about? And why is it being done? So what is the basis? Why did they lose that state of health? And what is the sickness all about? Where is the problem? Is it functional or is it structural? And last comes, what are the practices? What do we do? That comes last. So depending on each individual, we have to select the techniques which will commonly be okay, but each individual, it has to be adjusted or modified. It cannot be the same thing. And from the yogic point of view, the disease comes, settles as in 4 different phases. So first it starts as a small ripple, एक छोटा सा disturbance mind में, हमारे विज्ञानमय मनोमय में. If we are aware, we will catch hold of that. Okay, कुछ तो मेरे breathing में disturbance है अभी, तो कुछ मन में चल रहा है, कुछ thought मेरे को disturb कर रहा है, तो मैं कैसे उसको अभी address करूं. So if we can realize that, it is fine, it will be okay now. But if we don't look at that, if we are not aware, so then it passes on to the next phase, which is psychosomatic. So from the mind, it now slowly starts to come into the body, soma. So now you have a slightly raised BP, you have a headache. So what is it? If we can, address it at that moment, why is my BP raised now? Why is it that I have a headache now? So if we can go back and look at the cause and treat it there, so then it becomes solved then and there. But if suppose we don't do that, the next phase now, it is completely in the body. So it is like your BP is always high. So you are diagnosed as a hypertensive. You are diagnosed with high blood sugar. So you are diabetic, which means you have to take medication. So now what we can do is, we can stop it here with yoga. We can stop it here without progressing further. So one is like the medications that are being given with the dietary modifications. By addressing the root cause for this problem, we can try to, address that, reduce the dosage of the medicine, or stop the side effects by giving the yoga techniques. So at least the maintenance will be there, so that it doesn't proceed further, it doesn't deteriorate further. So that is the main important thing in yoga and yoga therapy. And organic phase mein, there is a complete organ damage, and that is it. So it will be in the grade 4, where only quality of life could be enhanced, nothing else could be done. So if we can catch hold of it, if we are aware, if we are conscious, if we can catch hold of it in the stage 1, like in the psychic or the psychosomatic phase, it can be retrieved and you can regain the state of health and wellness. So if not, it will keep proceeding. So what are the basic principles now? Through yoga, through the yoga therapy, the techniques that we practice, we activate the relaxation response from within. Instead of the stress reaction, we try to induce the relaxation response, which promotes the healing from within. Which means, क्या हम स्ट्रेस नहीं हो सकते हैं? क्या हम स्ट्रेस नहीं होते हैं? जो योग करते हैं वो क्या गुस्सा नहीं होंगे? It is a common question that people ask. Of course, yes, we do get stressed, we do get angry, but the only thing is, we come out of it quickly. तो हम सब नीचे गिरते हैं. तो how quickly can you come up, and how quickly can you start walking? Or do you wait there for someone to come and help? So there are so many factors in that. So with yoga, what you can do, you can modify your approach to the stressor. Do you see something as a big mountain, which is a huge problem, or do you see that as something small and you can solve it? Do you accept the challenge and start working towards it? So there is a change in your perception, because you are mentally strong, you are confident. So yoga helps you to modify the approach through the stressor, that you find a solution for that problem. So then the problem stops existing. What was a mountain, what was a huge Meru, now becomes a molehill, ek chota sa that you can just cross over very easily, and you accept the challenge now. And it is all happening only because of our self effort. So we are working on our own self, and nobody from outside is doing anything. It is all our own effort. Because when we are doing the practices, we start experiencing the goodness of these practices, because there are a lot of feel good hormones that are released into the bloodstream. Say for example, the endorphins, the enkephalins, serotonin, melatonin, GABA. So many good hormones are released that help us to stay calm and help us to face the challenges in a better way. Mentally challenged, you are so confident that you can challenge any problem or any stressor, and it enables us to move from that state of illness, from that state of dukkha to that state of sukha. So you are able to go into that state of sukha sthanam. So what is that state of sukha sthanam? That is that state where we are swasth, complete health and well-being. So how do we do it? It is through our own self-effort, through the techniques in yoga, be it asana, be it pranayama, each one, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, everything put together, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, all of them have their own role to play in taking you towards that healing. And so this is the chart that you can see. When you are disturbed, when you are angry, when you are stressed, what happens is that the sympathetic nervous system is now reacting, it is overactive. So what happens, you are into that mode of fight or flight. All these hormones, the adrenaline, catecholamine, all these are released more into your bloodstream. And what happens because of these hormones, your BP, your heart rate, the muscles, the brain waves, it is all more now, it is all higher, and you end up having fear, stress, your sense of analysis is gone, buddhi nasho, vinasha kale viparita buddhi, all these we have heard, right? So when you are angry, you're not able to control the anger, because you are just in the state of stress reactions, you react. So all these are observed when you are stressed. But with yoga, what are we doing? We are trying to promote the parasympathetic activity through the vagal tone, enhancement of the vagal tone and the parasympathetic activity. This promotes relaxation response. So what are the hormones? Like I said, oxytocin, endorphins, all these are released, the feel good hormones. So when these are released into the bloodstream, now what happens? The BP, heart rate, muscle tension, the brain waves which were disturbed are all now calmed down, and they are all brought back into that state of normalcy. And your mental focus, your attention, your mood is good, you're able to stay calm, all these, you're more confident, everything is promoted now. So what is yoga therapy? It is the art and science of tapping into our own resources from deep within so that we can heal ourselves. So using all these techniques that we have, all these tools, the upaya that we have. So what does the physicians think about? They will treat the disease. But what is yogic orientation? It is to treat the person. So that is when you address the person, the cause of that problem, that is when you treat it holistically. So diseases are just the symptoms of the imbalance, and yoga therapy is to restore that state of balance, that state of samatvam. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So yoga promotes that state of balance. So what was in the state of imbalance now is coming back into that state of normalcy, state of balance, state of stability. Through all these lifestyle changes which are given so much of importance in the yogic curriculum, achar, vichar, ahar, vihar and vyavahar. So what is achar? What are the activities that you're doing? Is it healthy? Exercising. Do you do your healthy activity? And what are your thoughts all about? Is it positive thought? Is it like creative thoughts? Are you thinking all negative thoughts which are destructive, which destroy not anybody else? It destroys only you. It doesn't affect anybody else. So it affects you. It affects the environment you live in. So all these negative thoughts, can it be addressed? And can they be made positive? Yes, yoga can do that, of course. And attitude, bhavana, all these matters. And ahar, what are you eating? You are what you eat. So what kind of food you eat? Is it fresh food? Is it stale old food? Is it a preserved food? What are you eating? Is it like energetic, that it can promote the state of positivity within you. State of prana is released. Say for example in sprouts, if the sprouts are put in soil, what happens, a new plant grows up. So उसमें इतना सारा एनर्जी है. तो जब हम sprouts खाते हैं, the raw diet, vegetables, fruits, sprouts, all these are called the sattvic diet. So when we eat that, we get so much of energy, the fresh energy, which is like constructive, which is anabolic. It gives you, promotes a lot of that positive energy from within. You become very optimistic and you become very confident. And Vihar, what are the recreational activity? When you go back home, what is it you relax with? Is it like you sit in front of the TV, or with a popcorn bowl, or what is your other activity? Do you do something which is good? Do you say for example, something that could be created, your hobby? Do you do gardening, where plants grow and you see fruits and you see flowers, and which is creative again? So where is your energy spent? So all these proper recreational activity is required. And vyavahar, your relationship with the others, how do you interact with the society, how do you relate to the others around you, is it healthy? And all these matter also. So the correction of psychosomatic disassociation, like we were discussing earlier, your body and mind are in that state of disagreement because of everything, the stress, the anger, the negative thoughts, whatever it is, the shatripu, as you all know, kama, krodha, lobha, blah blah blah, everything goes on, everything, the kleshas, avidya, asmita, each and everything is going to put you in that state of disagreement. Body, mind doesn't agree, raga, dvesha, they keep fighting, they are in that state of dvesha. Now you hate yourself, you are depressed, you are in that state of low self-esteem, you don't respect yourself because your body and mind don't agree with each other. So now what are you doing with yoga? This psychosomatic disassociation is now solved, and the distorted perception is now becoming proper. The harmony is brought back. What is like differentiated now, it is all put together. So hum ek saath judte hain ye sab ko. So what was now conflicting now has become that state where it is all calm. So you see a lake, a water body which is very calm without any disturbance, but once you throw the stones in, it is like completely disturbed. But you have to bring back that state of calmness, and through the yoga therapy, that is what we are trying to promote. So it empowers an individual to be in that state of ease, that sukha sthanam, that comfort zone where you are at your essence, where you can be that what you are, that you have manifested that potentiality that you are blessed with. So that is what is yoga all about. So what do we have to remember mainly? Yoga Chikitsa ke margam se we are trying to empower the individuals. That is our prime goal. Those who have lost that state of health and well-being, we are trying to promote and bring them back into that state of swastha, and respect individual capacity and needs. Each person is different, so we have to respect each one and their needs. What is it that they need? Some people may need just to relax, some people are so lazy that they may need some activation. So we have to think about the individual, what is their routine, what is the problem, and address it accordingly. So help change the perspectives and actions to facilitate natural healing. So a person, when they look at their own problems, they are very subjective about it. So we just have to step out of that subjectivity, step out just 1 inch away. Say a same problem, when it comes to you, you think about it in a different way, you react in a different way. But when the same problem is happening to your friend, you are able to give a solution to that. You try to help your friend. But when it happens to you, you react, oh my god, this is happening here, this is happening, so how can I do it, how can I not do it, so what do I do? So you are in that state of frenzy, you are panicking, because you cannot look at it objectively. Mm? So that is where yoga helps you to change your perspective, that you can address your own problems in a better way. The dietary changes, the lifestyle modifications, everything is going to help you in each and every way. So what is it that we need to remember? Balance is the key to life. Anything and everything, we need to stay in that state of balance, be it sukha, dukkha, whatever, happiness or sorrow. We just need to find that state of midpoint, the state of balance. So your work, your life, your career, your family, the business, everything is important, yes, but each one has its own place in your life. So how do you give that status? How do you maintain that state where you can give each one its importance but still maintain that state of balance, which is very, very important to attain that state of health and wellness. So to conclude, human body is a holistic entity and problem in one, like we saw. Just a recap now, in the physical well-being, that is going to affect your mental well-being, whatever, like the social, the spiritual, each one is influencing and interacting with each other. So the problem in one aspect is going to affect each and every other aspect, so the whole state of equilibrium is now lost. So we have to think about that and promote that sense of equilibrium back. So each individual is unique, they are not common. See, हमारे उंगली 5 उंगली है, 5 अलग अलग साइज में है, अलग अलग शेप में है, तो it's not common. So similarly, each individual is unique and we have to address to their needs as per their individual being. And yoga is self-empowering. Everyone is his own healer. So it is like you empower that individual to promote that sense of healing, and that they can help only themselves. Nobody else can help them. And yoga plays an active role in that state of health, whereas healing has to come only from within. You have to heal yourself, and your relaxation response, your state of that calm mind, your state of that balanced mind is going to promote that healing from within, and it is not going to come from outside. And the quality of the human being, the human mind, is very, very important to heal that human being. With a positive frame of mind, healing is very quick, whereas with a negative frame of mind, healing is disturbed and it is very, very slow. Sometimes it doesn't heal at all. So we have to have a very positive attitude, positive outlook for us to heal ourselves. So thank you so much, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. A few of my references here. So thank you again. I'm stopping the screen share now.
जी जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर मीना जी। आपने आज का जो सत्र लिया, ये है कि जो हिंदी भाषी हैं उन्हें हो सकता है कुछ कम समझ में आया होगा, क्योंकि इंग्लिश टू इंग्लिश कोई कॉन्सेप्ट बताया जाएगा तो वो इंग्लिश जिसको आ रही है तो वही समझ सकता है, मगर खैर ऐसा भी नहीं है। इंग्लिश भाषी भी बहुत सारे लोग हैं, वो इस कॉन्सेप्ट को बिल्कुल समझ भी लिया होगा और आगे भी समझेंगे, क्योंकि ये जो हमारा वीडियो है ये रिकॉर्ड हो जाता है, तो इससे शेयरिंग मैक्सिमम होती रहती है हरदम, और यूट्यूब पे भी इसका जो है शेयर किया जाता है लिंक पूरा। और बाकी बहुत अच्छा सेशन, बहुत बहुत तहे दिल से धन्यवाद। और पुनः आगे भी हमारा अनुरोध है कि आप आएं और इसी तरीके से कोई नए विषय पर और अच्छे विषय पर अच्छी सी जानकारी प्रसारित करें। और
Certainly, sir. My pleasure.
जी, और अब मैं सीधे आमंत्रित करूंगा डॉक्टर भगवान दास जी को कि वो आए और आज के कार्यक्रम को विराम देने के पहले धन्यवाद करें। अनुपम जी धन्यवाद करें और शांति पाठ करा के कार्यक्रम को विराम दें। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर साहब, मीना जी का बहुत हार्दिक धन्यवाद जो आज डॉक्टर साहब ने बहुत अच्छा योग को और जीवन को संतुलन करने के लिए जो हमें टिप्स दिए कि हमारे जीवन में संतुलन किस प्रकार महत्वपूर्ण है। तो उसके लिए मैं ये समझता हूँ कि हमारे जनमानस को बहुत अच्छा इस विषय पर, इस योग के ज्ञान के ऊपर बहुत अच्छी जानकारी प्राप्त हुई है। और मैं आगे भविष्य में भी ये आशा करता हूँ कि डॉक्टर साहब जो हमारे पांडेचेरी से ये ना जी, पांडेचेरी से हैं और आपके विद्यालय, आपके इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए प्रेरित बच्चे हैं और उनको भी हम ऋषिकुल योग पीठ की तरफ से धन्यवाद देते हैं, जो वो उसकी जो ज्ञान गंगा है उसमें भी वो सहयोग दें। और इसी के साथ अब हम इस सत्र को यहीं विराम देने के लिए चल रहे हैं। आइए
अनुपम जी धन्यवाद कर लें।
हाँ, अनुपम जी जरा डॉक्टर साहब का धन्यवाद दें। उसके उपरांत
म्यूट है, म्यूट।
session today. Thank you very much once again.
धन्यवाद अनुपम जी। और मैं डॉक्टर साहब को पुनः दोबारा हमारे ऋषिकुल परिवार की तरफ से नतमस्तक आपको हार्दिक धन्यवाद देते हुए आइए कमर गर्दन सीधा करें और शांति पाठ करें। गहरा लंबा सांस लें। यो शांति अंतरिक्षम शांति पृथ्वी शांतिरापा शांतिरोषधया शांति वनस्पतया शांति विश्वेदेवा शांति सर्वं शांति 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 करें, कोमलता से चेहरे पर स्पर्श करें। आज का सत्र यहीं विराम देते हैं। कल 7 बजे फिर उपस्थित होंगे नई प्रवक्ता के साथ, नई जानकारी के साथ। आज
थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, सभी को धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू।